Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video here at Red Dirt Reptiles. For those of you who don't know, I'm Corey, and for those of y'all returning, let's get right into it. What's up everyone? In this video, we're gonna kind of cover some foreground. So, really, how would you know if Jab here is the animal for you? We ask ourselves that each time we purchase or invest in a new species. How do we know that species is for us, and how do we know if it's the right step in moving forward to get that specific animal that we are looking at, or to pass and look elsewhere? A lot of that comes down to, honestly, look, in today's society, the cool factor is everything. Everybody wants to have something because it's cool, and they want to be able to say, look, I got this big animal and it's just extremely awesome, and that's great. And there's a lot of people out there that thrive off of that, and there's a lot of people out there that love people that have things because they're cool. I enjoy having it not just because they're cool, but I enjoy it because of the education behind it. Not only the things that I get to learn, but the things that I get to teach and share with others as far as schools and educational programs, birthday parties, with you as the audience, as I'm doing right now, sharing it to the world. This is what life is about, and the more educated I am as a keeper, the more educated I can help you guys become as keepers, and the more educated we are as a whole as keepers, the better off our reptilian friends are in here in captivity, and that's just one step closer to us being able to keep these animals in captivity for a long term. As many of you know, here in the reptile industry, USARC's been going through a lot lately. So it's nice to have people who are educated and want to stand up for these animals and represent with us. So yeah, thanks, appreciate that. So where would you? Let's start back where I was. How do you know this is the animal for you? So again, for me, it was, yeah, there was a cool factor, man. Having spiny tails are awesome. I always thought spiny tails were awesome. I always wanted a spiny tail when I was young. I had regular iguanas. How did I know this specific guy was for me? I tell you what, I love black and white, and I had been looking at Mexican spiny tail iguanas, which this guy is not a Mexican spiny tail, okay? He is an Isla San Esteban spiny tail. Two different genuses. However, I really liked the coloration pattern of the Mexican spiny tail, and then when I came across this guy, I was like, holy cow, man, you're like black and white in the front like a Mexican, but you got this like marble paint job on your back legs, and I can't get over how awesome that looks. So I started doing my research and figuring out, I was like, man, this is one of the rare iguanas to have, and they only come from a small portion of the world, and they have some really interesting facts that we've already covered about these guys. As a matter of fact, one of the craziest things about these guys is their island is made up of volcanic rock. So, like, you talk about being in a very humid, arid, dry, or a very humid environment at all times, and it being dry at the same time. That's crazy to have it dry and humid at the same time. But here he is, and I'd say that, if you really like spiny tail iguanas and you want to invest in one, this would probably not be the guy for you if you were just starting out. Okay, for experienced keepers, these guys again aren't known to have the best attitudes, so I wouldn't per se make it your first reptile. But I would say that if you're an experienced reptile owner and have dealt with these things before, at least with lizards in some capacity, and you want to step your game up or your experience level up and take on a little bit of a challenge, these guys are perfect for that because they have a little bit of attitude, and it takes a little while to gain their trust. But once you do, you get this right here where you get this just little funny, awesome animal who just absolutely adores me. I absolutely adore him. Yeah, buddy. And again, it just, you get an amazing connection that just can't be untouched. This guy will spend the rest of his life here at Red Dirt Reptiles. My household will forever hold him. We thought about one time at putting this guy up in our storefront as a showcase animal, but I just can't do it. I couldn't let him go and not be able to see him every day when I come home and get to love on him. He's my little buddy. Again, we've put a lot of work into him, so it's been really great. How often should you spend time with your animal? We'll cover that real quick. As a baby, I don't spend time, if I'm getting them as a baby, I may leave them alone for 15 to 30 days and let them acclimate to my household, but then after that, I'm almost daily, starting with baby steps and increasing my amount of time interacting with them. You know, it starts off with me standing in front of the enclosure, messing around with the substrate and such, and in the end, it'll end up to me being here in my bathroom for hours with one individual animal, just working with it, just walking around petting on it. I'll get up here with stuff and hit my head. I'll get up here with stuff and love on him the same, climb up here and kiss all on him. I want him to know that he's okay. And this right here really shows that he can be up high and he's in control because I'm not keeping him from going anywhere. You know, I spent a lot of time doing this, and when I first started getting up in here, I put my hand in front like this, thinking it would stomp him, and it did for quite a while, but we've gained a bond now where he just runs across my hand and knows that I'm not going to stomp him. I don't want to stop him per se from going anywhere, but I do want to interact with him wherever he goes. So whether he's up here in the trees above my bath, up on the tree above my shower, or up above my sinks on a basking ledge, wherever he may be, I do my best to get up to, just along with all my other reptiles. I'll get up there and do my best to interact with them all around, just so they know that the trust is there and that no harm's coming to them and they're safe wherever they are. You know, again, having a bond with these animals makes the world a difference with everything. You know, first and foremost, you need to build trust with your animal, and once you've done that, you can accomplish everything. You know, one of my major idols here in the reptile industry is Tom Crutchfield. He says it all the time nowadays. I see it all the time, Tom, all the time. But he's got this saying. He says, if the keeper will lose the fear of the kept and the kept lose the fear of the keeper, there is a magical moment and bond that can be created. And he's absolutely right. You know, living on that aspect and keeping that in my head as I tame these animals and work with these animals, I've gotten to see that me losing all my fear of them and putting complete trust in these animals like I do him, and him doing the same with me, it's made my ability to connect with them just that much more special for me. Because they do have feelings. I mean, a lot of people say these things don't have feelings. They do. They love to play. They love to give lovins. You know, so again, having that bond and spending time with the animal, you won't get that bond unless you spend time with the animal. So as much time as possible, you know, once you gain that bond, as much time as possible after that. I mean, hell, if it was nice weather year round, he would go with me everywhere. I would just pack him up on my shoulder and take him everywhere because he's a cool travel buddy. But yeah, so just think about that, guys. You know, do your research. You know, you can find everything on Google nowadays and YouTube. And if you can't find the answers on Google or YouTube, guaranteed you ran across somebody on Google, YouTube, or Facebook that has the answer. So find out who that person is and message them, whether that be us here at Red Dirt Reptiles OK or somebody else. It doesn't matter. Reach out and don't be afraid to ask for help. And if the person you're reaching out to is bashing you, put them down, not put them down, but in that conversation go to somebody else, because we as keepers, real keepers, want to inform and educate the rest of y'all so that we all keep positive interactions and positive long-term captive pets. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.